let's do the start streaming, shall we?
Yes.
Oh, here we go. Who knows what's gonna happen now?
Things.
Terror. I would like to see the YouTube's control panel, if you please.
Yeah, just a second. Let me do the thing where I go to the
Oh, that's
YouTubes
right.
on
You
my
have a computer. For a second, I thought you pulled up RimWorld, and I was very excited.
We can play RimWorld. I have that on here.
I was like, RimWorld? I love RimWorld. Oh, that's right. You have a computer. Success! We're on a stream.
We did the thing.
We did the thing. Let me turn my computer even more sideways.
We should not be left unsupervised.
We were left unsupervised for projects unknown. Oh, I have to mute myself. Mute my desktop audio. Mute everything. Pop out the chat of the thing. Do all the prep work.
Do the things. Get in the box.
Do the things. Get in my box. Stay in your box. You tricked me into a lie. How dare you? Did we put the fire out? Yes. It was a purposeful fire.
There were minimal flames.
Minimal flames. We were. I guess you could call it cooking. We were cooking a thing.
We were cooking.
Yep.
Heat was applied to a thing.
Heat was applied to a thing, and we changed the form of a thing through heat.
Yes.
Not metal, because Kit just did that, and that'd be boring if we were just to copy him. Who is the new person in the vid? This is Sari.
Hi.
She is my wonderful assistant, my beautiful assistant. She's here helping me learn some skills because she lives nearby. For those in the Discord, I'm sure you've met her. She's the wonderful Sari.
Hi, I'm the wonderful Sari. I'm wonderful now.
Yes.
Stay in your box. I stay in the box.
Just so you know, we have boxes. We are literally right next to each other. The box is for your benefit. Helps your eyes. It's not real.
It's not real.
We're not in different places. This is a box.
We sharing a box.
No, I stay in my box. Stay in your box.
It's in my box.
The fun, chaotic, unsupervision. My giant water.
Maddie made me coffee. Maddie is the best.
That's a lot of water. I haven't been drinking a lot of water today. My body. Fun fact about me. It actually runs in my family. Water goes really fast through my mom's side of the family. We process water really fast. I feel sick all the time if I don't just chug water. Let's see. Today was supposed to be the design live stream.
Mm-hmm.
But then I lit stuff on fire, kind of. Not really.
No.
There's more heat than fire.
Yeah, more heat than fire.
When we say on the fire, it was metaphorical. It was more like phrase. Kind of, because it was actually heating a thing. You'll find out eventually.
It'll take a little while.
It'll take a little while. Some projects are investments that we have to lovingly care for long periods of time. In the meantime, I'm going to stare at my folders until my brain can read words. Wonder why these two are named the exact. Oh, because these are different. What month is it? It's August.
It's August.
It's August. Okay.
Almost September.
Oh, someone actually did. Froggy asked us to look into banner making or patch making. To do that,
silk banner making is fun.
I don't think my iPad's actually charged, so we can use Photoshop. I am on a laptop, which gets a little bit iffy when it comes to being able to show stuff. But honestly, most of the design process is references and then photo bashing stuff together. um, did you lock Clever up? Maddie has 2 hats on. Yes.
Yes.
That someone Maddie is gonna have to pee in about 10 minutes. Don't jinx it.
Because then you're stuck talking to me by myself, and that won't be good for anyone.
She's like, I just showed up here. Now I'm hosting a stream. Yeah, we had we should make it a Clever edit the video he just did for the follow-up video. Did I lock? Let's go back. Did I lock Clever up so he could steal his chair? No, I'm a good friend. And instead, I sent him on vacation to Florida, in the sunshine and beaches and resorts and all that. And I trekked it up here so that I could spend some quality time with Cerberus,
He's asleep on the
who was
couch.
asleep on the couch.
We weren't giving him enough pets.
How much booze are in those drinks? None.
None.
These are our personalities. That's quite the hat. Thank you. It was one of her hats, but I inherited it. Rip Clever. Scorching heat dome of heat and death. Yeah, that sounds like Florida. So let's start a new file in Photoshop. Sure, we'll do that shape. It's a weird ass shape. But in the meantime, I'm going to start a new scene. I'm going to call it 2. I don't actually know.
Oh, look at that face.
I think actually we might have to just watch me do this in person, because I think to switch over to that scene to edit it, yeah, you'd just be watching a black screen. I just watched it happen on the stream on yours. So the box. Hold on.
Fell out of my box.
Hold on. I can do this. Hold on. Don't look behind a curtain. Don't do it. I'm actually gonna hide that for now so that I can take this. I can stare at it menacingly.
I look like I'm doing strange things. I'm just patting the dog.
I'm not actually sure how to crop this, so we might just be small. I don't know what this. Oh, just because I took it away does not mean that I wasn't editing it. I have to lock it. I'm learning. Okay, that's our face. What is this then? I'm getting rid of it if I don't know what it is. Okay, so we're just gonna be small in the corner without our boxes. Yeah, I don't know how to crop this. I'll stop making you have to live through us figuring that out. Instead, let me put this back on, and I will just make one of us. We will share. I guess we'll share a box. Badly. We will share a box badly. You know, I could just like do it live.
You could.
Ta-da!
There you go.
I'll lock that. Put us up in the corner. Or here. I still wish I knew how to crop it, but man, I can't. So we live with it. And then I guess let me welcome to the chaos stream. Welcome to the infinite. I wonder if I nope, that doesn't do it. Does anyone know how to crop something in OBS? Is Sari aware she might end up becoming a meme? It was discussed.
The meaning is inevitable.
The memeing is inevitable.
I like the infinite screen.
Infinite. I'm infinite. My power. Hers too. Don't look behind the curtain.
The great and powerful Oz.
If I do this, and then that's that half of my screen. Right?
Yeah.
You have to admit, that's kind of clever.
Yep, that works.
And then I lock that. I get us.
Put us on that side.
See? I can smarts. No, I have no idea how to crop it. I'm a dumb brain. No.
We can use this chat.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. What in the Batman cave computer's going on here?
That's a good question.
Man, I wish I knew what was going on here. We're just gonna look at Pinterest. Ignore the many tabs.
So many.
Stop automatically retabbing me. So let's actually go to. I have a Dendronian board. Grove of Dendronia. I believe Froggy wants to talk about Dendronian banners. So let's make a section and call it banners. And then patches, I believe he wanted to talk about. I'd look it up, but now my screen is...
It is banners and patches.
Yes. Banners and patches. So the first thing I always do whenever I design a thing is I literally just go on... I literally just go on Pinterest and I'm like, ooh, that's all the stuff I've pinned before. I'm like, this is weirdly not banners. Let's go to fantasy banners. See if we get a little bit more.
There you go.
I like this. It gives me a little bit of information. Where's my Dendronian bird? It's Grove of Dendronia. Where is it? Oh, the Grove of Dendronia. My bad.
Stupid alphabet.
Did she just use duct tape and gum? Shush. Oh, these are cool. These are cool little, like, small banners and stuff. And this is what happens, is we look around and we see what catches our eye. I like to get some different types of references.
Coats of arms.
Yeah, I don't know if we'd go more coats of arms. I mean, maybe if we looked into it and we liked certain representations, like I know sometimes they represent different things. Like if faces this way means we were defeated recently. I like this one. Simple too. Wonder why all my images are kind of blurry. Uh, It's like you don't get to look at high
You don't get
resolution
full
pics.
resolution.
You don't get full resolution anymore. Um, I think that would be a really cool one to have, like a tall flag banner.
Yeah.
What's the project? Right now we're looking into banners and patches for Dendronia, which is our conquest camp. By the way, keep an eye on the space if you
Silk banner making.
silk banner. So okay, that's actually a thing that I want to get into. Not necessarily like silk banner making in general, but I want to get raw fiber, like raw cotton or wool or even like flax, not like unprocessed flax, because I'm not that much of a psychopath. I was like, I'm gonna whip it until it's fabric, and then I want to weave it, and then I want to spin it, then I want to weave it, and then I want to like dye it and maybe like make a banner or something. I don't trust myself to put that much effort into it and then try to make clothing because I'm not that good at sewing. But I think it'd be really cool to have a series where like you go from
sheep to shawl.
Yeah, basically. Like when we drove by the alpaca store, I was like, I wonder if they sell alpaca wool.
I have access to a 8 heddle floor loom. So you can weave up to 40-inch wide material on it.
Say more. I know they say less, but say more. I think something like this would be really cool. So they're just painting on
silk, yeah. So basically what they're doing is they're painting the color retardon, which stops the colors from blending into each other. And you paint that on and then you fill in it's like paint by numbers, but
yeah. Oh, so basically they outline it with something that keeps the ink from spreading.
Yep.
And then that's really actually cool. I think that would be a really cool way to do like a really.
And because they're silk and light that way, they make very good flappy banners.
They flutter.
They flutter in the wind. As opposed to the banner Kit made last time, which was really heavy.
Yeah.
And it's not really gonna.
See, this is very useful because now we know what the different types are called. And that means I can also later look up the different types and be like, what are the different uses of the different types? Like the standard I know is typically used in like combat because there's the standard bearer. But like having something like this, imagine something like that that's more detailed, the standards.
Yeah.
And then it's basically all of the different groups of our military that have the basic bare bones, like their Dendronian symbology, but then they also have their individual like unit symbology.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they do. It's like, so in that one you've got your like German eagle there, and then the association is the.
So like they imagine. I like how they painted on the shape instead of trying to force the shape before painting. That seems like a much better idea.
Yeah, and then you cut it out afterwards along the edge of the.
Yeah, I really like that. Like this kind of banner where you have the like big like somewhere in your design you include something of like, say this is the Dendronian banner. And then a bunch of people like you've seen, not to bring up what is it, not to bring up England taking over the world, but but like a lot of flags around that time ended up like I'm not sure actually if England's flag is still.
Like the Union Jack is still on the Australian flag, the New Zealand flag, the puppet.
Yeah, and they tend to be almost like squares, where like the top, like the different squares of like you have, like I think what is it called? United. No, what is it? Okay, there's England, Britain,
the United Kingdom.
United Kingdom. I think the United Kingdom map is the one that has like the 4 squares and like I was
Yeah.
recently. I was.
So all the different parts of the
I need
United
to
Kingdom
know.
layer into the Union Jack. So you've got like the Scottish cross, the Welsh cross, the
Okay.
British cross, and they all layer on top of each other
But I
to
saw
make
a
the Union
different
Jack.
flag recently. Was it the
Yeah.
Great Britain flag? Great Britain, the British Isles, United Kingdom, including Northern Ireland.
Yes.
But I saw a different. Is the British flag different? I saw a different flag recently. Yeah, this is what you mean of the English, Scottish,
Irish,
Ireland,
Yep.
Union Jack.
Mm-hmm.
I saw one with Wales and stuff. It was. I'll be honest. I was watching The Crown for the first time. Amazing show, like fantastic. Ooh, here's a good example of it. Of like you start to see these kind of boxy flags where people combine different. Ooh, here's
It's
like
called marshalling.
yeah, the timeline of flag. I wonder if they literally just put all the different flags next to each other and like not as an actual flag in that show, but like representation of all the places she is queen of. You expected me to design a flag, and now we're learning about history. This is what you signed up for. I can't see the chart.
Yes, so like in heraldry, it's called marshalling when you combine two sets of arms to show two things put together.
That's kind of quartering, yeah.
So you quarter it. But yeah, so it's like, and
Here,
it's frequently
I'll
done.
look up what she looked up so we can see it. Marshalling in heraldry.
Yeah.
Ignore my spelling. Yeah, this is what we were looking at. So
yeah, so you've got the two different sites, and it's usually like how family crests end up getting made and things like that. And you'll frequently see quartering, like when a family is related to the
that's
royal
what I
family.
saw.
Yeah.
See the royal arms of the United Kingdom. That's what I saw.
Yep.
Representative Queen Elizabeth. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. And
Yeah.
they so like the husband's heraldry, the wife's heraldry, you stick it together, the family heraldry.
What happens when they have kids and their kids get married?
You can get some recursive marshalling happening when they.
Like, do eventually they kind of simplify it?
Yeah.
Like, do things mesh together,
They
or
do
do
mesh together.
they just kind of keep Xerox of a Xerox of a Xeroxing?
Yeah.
How to avoid marshalling? Ooh,
It's the SCA armory. The SCA doesn't do marshalling in their armory.
why?
Lots of complicated reasons that would really bore people to death.
I like this one. I like that example of kind of
Yeah.
so like
Yeah.
because
Sons get shields, daughters get diamonds.
Hmm. See, that's really cool. Look, the bear stood up.
Yeah. So, like, if you wanted to make Dendronian arms, you could take like your arms and Kit's arms and then stick them together. Something like that.
Something like that.
Although technically within marshalling, that would imply that you're married.
I'm not even sure if Kit's character would have a coat of arms because only my character's nobility. Ooh, I like these. But what I'm thinking is less marshaling families together and more like what would
Yeah, you can do
a flag look like for a unit of the British Army versus another unit of the British Army?
Yeah, basically you'll have the British Army arms on one side and then either a personal arm of the soldier or the unit's arms.
Kind of like that one that we saw.
Sort of like that. It's just like that side's the King's arms and this side is the 106th Airborne arms.
It's a medieval military heraldry. Would it be called heraldry?
Yep. So that's there you go. Battle of Agincourt. And the different
No, that looks like the different houses that are involved.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, you're using it in a fantasy setting, so you don't have to follow historic precedent.
I know, but like it still gives you. Oh, this might be a good one. I think this is
It looks like Game of Thrones or
yeah, it
something.
looks like Game of Thrones, but like basically you have the same basic heraldry
Yeah.
through it where you have the original and then you have a bunch of different
Variants.
variations that's like either the same colors, the same imagery in different
Mhm.
ways that represents different houses underneath the main house of a region.
That's Aquitaine. No, that's actually historical.
Yeah?
Yeah. There's the House of Aquitaine, the House of Stuart, the House of Bordeaux.
See, that would be really interesting to look into is like heraldry and shit. Um, you can marshal real far.
You can marshal real far.
Uh,
It's like one of the things I've always liked the looks of on a shield is to have a chevron on it.
mm-hmm.
Because it's got like really neat lines, but you don't actually, historically speaking, want that on your shield because it was what they did to somebody's shield when they showed cowardice in battle. It's like aesthetically this is pleasing, but it is implying that I'm a coward.
Chevron. What does that look like again? Chevron. Oh yeah. Isn't that what we give people now for like ranks of military?
Yeah, ranks of militaries are chevrons, but no.
So we took the mark of cowardice.
No.
Well,
What's the word I'm looking for?
I was gonna make a really bad joke. It's like the higher rank you are, the further back from
From the
the
front.
fighting.
I mean, it's accurate.
They realized it wasn't cowardice; it was just survival instinct. I need the chat because I haven't seen it in a long time.
Here is the chat.
Actually, let me.
We're talking about the SCA.
I like the roots, the comment about the roots going
Yeah.
down into the other flags. Because it's the SCA. That's pretty much the answer for anything in the SCA. UK £1 coin has the 4-in-1 military insignia.
Yeah.
I'll scroll up a bit because we've missed a lot of comments. In the D&D campaign, Crow the Archfey made herself known to her warlock. Went well. I have a warlock? Hell yeah. Wood stains. Ooh, that's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can definitely dye things with onion skins, black walnuts.
Yeah, that's back when I think we were talking about dyeing stuff from scratch. I don't know if I paint like a silk banner, that might be different because I like this. This is pretty.
Yeah.
Ooh. Ah. Ooh. Ah. I like heraldry when it's like.
I love heraldry, but I also look at it as someone who does embroidery, and I'm like, is that going to be a pain in the neck?
I like this one.
I hate ermine.
This is the design I based our last banner on. I really liked the kind of flowy look to it.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, ah.
Here we go. Thank you, Encyclopedia Britannica. You have exactly what I was looking for.
It'd be fun to like figure out. This is pretty cool. Actually, I really like this because it's basically so it's not necessarily our Dendronian symbol because that was basic. We ended up using the let me tell you a story symbol because we had the Dendronian people vote on it. Originally, I was gonna have like the skill tree symbol. If you look at the conquest symbol, it's a sword going through the queue. So I took the skill tree symbol that has the circle around it, and I redesigned everything with the sword going through the middle. But then they ended up voting for the old. Well, it was only a rough sketch and stuff.
Yeah.
But they liked the old let me tell you a story symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but it would be cool of basically there's the Dendronian symbol and there's the personal sigil, kind of how that 4 sigil was the royal house sigil. Because Fox is like we've decided, especially when it comes to the magic we wanna show off. He this year he was like a lot of golds and more sun themed. And then I was a lot of silvers and more moon themed. And we're like, we can take that further.
Embrace it.
Where we would split the basic, like the elemental magic, where he leans more into like earth and fire magics, and I lean more into like water and air. So for me, that would manifest a lot of more subtle magics, basically more lunar magics, even just like storm or cold.
Yeah.
Which like is what
all the best magics.
All the best magics. And then he's a lot more like fire and whatever he ends up coming up for like earth magics. But I like this kind of concept of having like the thrones, because that's what we're talking about, kind of we're the thrones of Dendronia. Not like kings or queens, but like we're the thrones.
I really like that one.
Yeah, it'd be cool to do something like that for Fox and Crow, but it might come off a little bit too cartoony. This is cool too, kind of just that split.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the split more so for the...
I call that counterchanged.
Yeah, like the kind of sun and moon vibe. Like this is kind of sun and moon vibed. I'm gonna collect all of the ones that I like.
That is important.
The first most important step is to collect references. All art is...
That's highly complicated.
Can I see the comments? I can pull it up here because I don't have to look at ourselves on the screen. I just have to... I just have to get to my live stream so I can... I want to see... I want to know... Can you show... I want to be able to see the chat. I can see it. Alright, we left off here. Hello. Hello. Just read all the hellos.
Hello, hello, hello. The branches are going to sound
We
off
both...
and stop
Graham
right
said
now.
he's not allowed to use fire. We both know he's going to use fire. For the joke to have started that he's not allowed to use fire, he has to have decided to use fire enough. I like this.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah. I'm gonna save that. I like the vibes.
Is good vibes.
Is good vibes. I like this too. Is good vibes. That's what you gotta do. You just gotta find the good vibes. It's like, oh, that right there. That's good vibes.
It is. It is excellent vibes.
It's giving me the good vibes. I really like this one. I based heraldry of one of my D&D world nations off that one. House is the Crown Lens. These are good vibes. I like the variety and fun of them. Oh, look at all. Is this Dorn? That sounds...
Houses of Dorn. That sounds Westerosian.
Yeah, Westlands.
Human nations, dwarven states.
Riverlands. I remember. Yeah, this is definitely
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. I remember the Riverlands. I never watched it, but I remember I listened to some lore videos instead. I didn't want to watch the show. It's
That's
very
fair. That's
the,
fair.
the few times that I walked in. Ooh, this is cool. The few times that I walked in on other people watching it, it was always in the midst of some like sexual violence.
Yeah, yeah, there was a lot of that.
And that's just not my vibe.
No,
Like
that's fair.
the world and story and stuff wasn't interesting enough to sit through that. So I just listened to lore instead of having to watch it. Um, this is cool. Good vibes.
I like the knotwork around
Oh,
that. That blue
this one is
Yeah.
good vibes. Ooh, is good vibes. I like how they worked the axes in.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Assassin's Creed. Is good.
Celtic style, not Celtic / Norse style knotwork always makes things more cool.
Is good.
That's sort of sci-fi.
It's actually deck of many things, apparently.
Mm.
Ooh, fancy. Is good.
It's good.
Is good. Eventually, Pinterest will just start making it your homepage, and you just click home, refresh, look at stuff again.
My Pinterest always gets very, very confused depending on what rabbit hole I've been going down. So
That's why I like to make specific, like whenever I'm looking at anything for an extended period of time, I always like to make a board for it, because that's the one way that you can try to tell it what you're looking for. Otherwise, it's gonna get real confused. It's like, I don't understand. You like this one, but then you like this one, but then you like this one, and I just don't see the, I don't see the thread. Where's the thread? This is really pretty.
you can use it. I was using it for work. It's ChatGPT logos. It's real weird.
This is pretty. Okay.
Ooh,
I like the colors and stuff.
I like how all the different trees have the one root structure.
It's ooh. Undo. Put it in the wrong place. I did.
Oh, this is.
The comment, why watch a show when you can watch lore videos and pretend to be cool with the kids? It's more just like, I didn't have time to read the books, and the show's it leans very hard on themes that I don't like. I mean, the books is pretty, like, violent and all that, too, but it leans a lot more on the whole political intrigue, and
Yeah.
there's more to it. So I like to listen to the lore of the books.
Mm-hmm.
The lore of the books is interesting. It's deep. There's a lot that happens. Dude can write a lot and then not write his final book for what, like 6 years?
Oh, Pinterest doesn't work.
Who finished off the Wheel of Time? I forget. Sanderson?
Yeah.
Sanderson's gonna end up finishing off a Game of Thrones too.
Because
Sanderson can write, man.
He can.
Man, first of all, he's a really good writer, but he churns out books like I've never seen. Like he falls asleep, wakes up, and like
There's a book.
There's a book. He's done it in his sleep. I like the vibe of this kind of block printing as well, where like just the background is kind of some sort of symbolism. I wouldn't mind, honestly, if Sanderson ended up finishing off Game of Thrones. What other book series can he finish off? Even ones that are finished but just didn't finish well.
Or he could just rewrite June so it's readable.
Yeah. Yeah, especially since it's becoming a little bit more in the zeitgeist again.
Mm-hmm.
I like this.
Well, that's a pretty lion.
Oh, so that's a pretty lion right there. That right there? Pretty lion. I like these horses. They're so happy. Look it. They're so happy.
They are happy horses.
I like the designs of kind of it feels very sun without being a sun. They're so happy. I like it when horses are happy. Just having a good time. I also like this kind of theming where the more higher up you go, the more accessories a banner gets. Like it starts having like small banners next to it. That's just more banners.
Augmentations of arms are what they're called.
Yeah?
Yep.
Well, you gotta write all these down for me.
Here we go. This is my pen. It's a combination of character art and red pandas. Look at that.
It is.
Here we go. We should use this.
It's interesting that the whole triangle thing, you said that's for like daughters.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting that that's a thing. Hey, dragon. Bananas. We talking bananas. Mostly we're just looking at, I really love this kind of vibe where it's got like sectioning that makes it look really pretty. It tickles the right places in my brain. I also like ones that kind of. I want to make stained glass.
That's a good idea. Let's see. Fox.
Yeah, the tattoo one. Nothing was technically on fire. We were just heating a thing. If Kit was on fire, he wouldn't even know it. He can't feel heat. That looks natural. It's just like a fox that turns immediately into a tail, and the crow just standing on the tail. It's like perfect, wonderful. I'm going. It's becoming anime. You know, you've scrolled too far in Pinterest when it starts becoming anime.
Yeah.
Specifically,
You have dug too deep.
you've dug too deep. I've actually looked into doing stained glass as a video because now that I'm actually able to do videos, like I have to start looking into how to do videos because I have to figure out stuff that I can do in a short period of time because I technically have less time than Kit does usually, unless I'm house sitting, which happens sporadically. The problem with stained glass is it's not it's a little bit outside what we normally do for our channel, but it's an expensive thing to get started with just to kind of have like it's not super expensive once you've gotten the first couple of tools. It's just there are a few couple of tools that
like
to
the
do it.
propane torch and things like that aren't cheap to get good ones.
Yeah, the like even the I don't think I was looking into propane torch and stuff, but there are just some like it just seemed a little bit expensive to get started for a project that might not do too well on our channel. Which sucks because I wish we could just this is such a pretty dress. I'm sorry. But
That is a very pretty dress.
I'm saving that just cause.
Like
I have actually, in case we ever do a ball, I have stuff saved for if Fox like wears a suit. That's kind of his vibe. Um, yes, you just pulled up a stained glass kit. I think it's the grinder
yeah.
that is the really expensive one because it has to be like a water grinder.
Mm-hmm.
to be able to do it to glass.
Yeah.
Everything in the soldering kit, everything else is pretty cheap. You have to get a few specialized tools to be able to like break it cleanly. I think it's copper wire to be able to put in between.
Mm-hmm.
And then the glass itself can be a little bit expensive, but it's mostly the tools that's the like the first time purchases and stuff. Epoxy resin.
I have all the equipment to do it with epoxy.
We've done resin and stuff before. This is pretty. We did that. We've done a few different things with resin. We actually did the resin stained glass for the cleric book.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did it like as low effort as possible, where he just used that paint that puffs up to trace the lines, and then he filled the gaps with resin on like a wax paper so that he could just peel it up after.
Teach you guys how to make
Someone
resin
said, "How do you say
dies.
squirrel in German?" No idea. Oh, they sang squirrel because I saw a pretty dress. It was a really pretty dress. I feel like I got back on topic. I don't remember if it was the same topic.
Good luck.
Yeah, no, I'm like you can ask it to say it. Like it'll try to say it out loud.
Yeah.
I mean, just pull it up in Google Translate. Usually it has a little like
Yep.
yeah, press the same topic.
Good luck.
Yeah, no.
Oh no, you're
like,
playing
you
the
can ask
stream.
it to say it. Like it'll
Press
try
it
to say
quick.
out loud.
Let me see. Stream. Be quiet.
Shush stream.
Shush stream.
Shush stream.
Volume be back.
Eichhörnchen.
No, I'm not.
Eichhörnchen.
Eichhörnchen.
And now all the German people are mad at us.
I can't do the.
That's not how you do it.
I can't do the back of the throat sounds. A lot of the like growl of my voice, I guess. Like I can't really do it much anymore on purpose after I grew up taking singing lessons. And I'm so used to like circulating the air of like back there like at my soft palate that I do it while I'm talking.
Yes, you project your voice well.
Yeah, I'm very loud. It wasn't like it's not a thing that I'm consciously in control of. I was taught to be loud, but never taught to then control like my power. I like this.
I'll teach you guys how to make dice.
We've made resin dice before. This looks like the West Conquest West Kingdom. Their sigil. These are really pretty. Are these all basically female sigils?
I mean, theoretically, yes. They just look like people like making.
They just saw a female sigil, didn't understand what it meant. They're like, that pretty.
That pretty.
I do like it though. Like this one specifically, it's a really nice combination of colors. We have to keep an eye out for pretty sun-themed things. We can make Fox a symbol. Because we'll probably end up redoing the signet rings that we made.
It always takes a little while to like settle on what you actually really want it to be.
Yeah, here's a good path to take.
And yeah, they do look like quilting squares. Hi, dragon.
Oh, the symbols.
Yeah.
It's like, hell, is that Zeri?
I snuck in.
That's a cool. Da-ding. Press the silence button on your computer.
Silence, impudent computer.
Pretty. We're just kind of scrolling and collecting thoughts right now. I'm gonna start looking. He said also like military patches, so let's look at military insignia. and start collecting some inspiration there.
Chupacabra corpse.
What? um, I've always liked the kind of smooth organization of military organization rank insignia. How it just kind of builds on itself. Like, how can you not like the vibe? It's a good vibe.
It's a good vibe, and it's real easy to read.
Yeah, even like stuff like this where it like evolves over time, where it's just like
the more important you are, the fancier you are.
Yeah, I mean that's what our skill badges are. Is I basically just gave it. I did some rough sketches, like stuff like this. I did some rough sketches of what each level would look like. I sent it to one person to do kind of more concept art, and then I sent it to another person, and they did more detailed art. Doing medals would be fun too, like designing some medals for different. So a thing that let me actually see if I still have this. Ba 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 ba. Coffee cleaning itself.
Chain of office.
Yeah, so chains of office. Since we know we can cast stuff now.
Yeah. What is it?
Like if someone gets knighted. So chains of office aren't actually that hard to cast, and it would be also a really good opportunity to do enamel. Because a lot of traditional chains of office were brass, and then they were like they had cold enamel normally.
Yeah.
Cold enamel.
There you go. Fancy chain of office.
Yeah, but like I want to make like a traditional like enameled. Because we've been wanting to do enamel for a while.
Yeah, you've got a little. You'll need a little furnace for it.
Yeah, for the enamel.
Yep.
I think Bale was talking about because Bale's actually like really into medieval like woodworking and jewelry making.
Ooh,
he's like, if I had time, I'd do a lot more of that. So he was talking about different ways to do it, where he basically has almost like a torch or something that like he hits the bottom of it after he's like organized all the enamel and melts it.
That's one way of doing it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can technically do it in your own oven. It's not really food safe though.
You just have to be careful what metal you're using, because like if we did with pewter, we wouldn't be able to do hot enamel. These are cool though.
No.
But like doing an enamel, I'm trying to find if I do casting chain of off. Yeah, this is the website he showed us, where it has a bunch of traditionally casted chains of office. So where's some traditional one? He likes stuff like that. So like he was talking about.
I mean, you could totally do that. It's like have your tree in the middle and have a fox and a crow on either side, and then.
I like that idea. So like this is really simple to make. We're like for that. You would literally cut that out of a sheet and then have a wire and then flatten it and then fill it with enamel. This one, the castle, he talked about making it out of wax.
Yeah, you carve them out of wax and then make a sand.
And then you can use the actual metal one to continue to make the mold. And then we can also like 3D print these. If we get a resin printer, especially. Go borrow mine. You have a resin printer? How many things do you have?
Hi, I'm an ADHD crafting nerd. I collect hobbies.
But man, it would be so cool if, say, like people could be knighted, and we could have a whole ceremony where they get an actual, like, traditionally made.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Like,
I can imagine that being someone's like favorite piece of bling for their outfit.
I love this one. Where's the S's? So, night color of S's. It's literally just S's.
Mm-hmm.
I love how like dad humor medieval times Europe was.
Oh yeah.
Like, you think that they're joking, but then you look and you're like, oh no, they have, where is it? The Order of the Garter,
Mm-hmm.
where it's just a bunch of garters.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, that can't be serious. And it's
It's
like,
like,
no,
no.
it's a serious, famous order founded by King Edward III
Yup.
with the motto, shame on him who thinks evil of it. What was in there was I think it's on the last page. We start getting into the Renaissance time where you get the Order of the Thistle.
Mm-hmm.
Look how gorgeous this is. I mean, it's so much detail with the resin work.
It is a lot of detail with the resin work.
Yeah.
And I mean, I look at that and be like, how upset am I going to be every time I have to replicate it? It's a real good way to teach yourself to be simple in your designs.
Well, that's the thing. You cast a lot of it, and then the rest of it's just kind of what is it? And it's not soldering when you're doing it with brass. Not like whatever you do with brass. And then there's like stuff like crowns. Like we could do a crown. It's a flat cast because one side's flat, and then you just round it.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a genuine crown.
That'd be a really awesome video. Making you and Kit crowns for
because our old crowns are wire wraps and stuff because so they got kind of wrecked on the way back because when we went up we brought that like tiny chest that we ended up keeping all of our coin in our storage box, so we left that there. So our poor unfortunate crowns, they had to come back normally in our luggage, and they did not survive that. It's called armorandcastings.com. They basically sell traditionally made medieval casting jewelry and such. Oh, I love this one. The Order of the Ermine. It's literally like, look it's a weasel.
Yes.
Why are they such a dad humor? Like they could make anything. Like it's a chivalric order founded by the Duke of Brittany after a battle.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, what should we call ourselves, sir? Weasel.
We are weasels.
I wonder if that's the Duke of Weaselton came from that.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's Wesselton.
It's Massachusetts. It's probably Wooselton.
It's Massachusetts. It wouldn't sound anything like it looks like.
Wooselton.
No, it would be like Wussel.
Wusselton?
No, just Wussel.
Wussel.
Everything else wouldn't be there. It's a collar pendant. Oh, it's just like it hangs from the bottom of the collar. If you want to be extra special.
Mm-hmm.
I saw one that was like a set of 3. I think it was on the second page. That's fun.
Yeah.
There's a set of this one. Like we could make this.
Mm-hmm.
Genuinely, it's not as hard as it looks.
No, it's not. There's some freshwater pearls on a bit of wire.
Glass gems.
Some glass gems, yeah.
Lab gems, pearls, gilding, gold, and then you wear it like this, where it's one's on your head, one's on your here. But it's gorgeous.
Yes, a placket belt.
Yeah.
I volunteer somebody else to sew that gown, though.
Yeah. I love the look of the collars like that,
The
though.
Tudor collars.
Yes, I love Tudor collars. I've been trying with what I'm wearing to kind of
Ape the Tudor collar.
like feel up the Tudor collar. I just don't have the money to like truly
Well, they were separate parts from the dresses, the collars themselves.
Yeah, a lot of them they were partlets.
Yeah.
I tend to just make them. Well, my friend sews them for me. My underdresses and undershirts, so they're just part of it. I just mean I like more of the top parts.
Yeah. Yeah, I've sewn dresses like that before. Ended up hating my life.
Ooh, what are medieval badges? See, this stuff would be fun of like if these were the medals and stuff that we gave out.
Yeah, the pilgrimage pins is what they call them. And people used to collect them when they went on pilgrimages to show that they'd been to a place.
Well, yeah, I think it'd be real cool to I don't know, man. It's just really cool to start digging into building out a
And if you
camp.
go up a little bit, you can sort of combine your leather working with your enamel work and make a fancy placarded belt, like that one.
Yeah, no, that's another thing we were talking about with on that site they have all of the casted stuff to make the that kind of belt. Um dope as hell. Oh, here's the website.
It's the Order of the Garter again.
Oh, it's the Order of the Garter. But I don't know, man. Like I guess it's just very I like the idea of working out all of that stuff for the camp. Like where that culture feels like enriched enough. Like we have full like
There's depth to it.
there's depth. Like we have heraldry. We have different military units that have more like elaborate heraldry to separate them from each other. We have like we can knight people with collars and stuff. Have whole ceremonies. I want that.
I love how empty Pinterest looks when you've got an ad blocker on.
Yeah, it's been so long since I haven't had an ad blocker.
It's like all those blank spots are where ads are. Ooh, that's a pretty dress.
Which one?
That one.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's very spidery. No, I'll pass.
This one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Speeder.
No, there's not.
Now there was a spider on the ceiling. There he is.
Yeah.
See on the pole.
Oh yeah, he's only tiny though.
Yeah, he's real tiny. He's been on the ceiling for like 3 days, just kind of vibing. He was there for a day, then he was there, and now he's there. I've never seen him move. He just is.
Yeah, I just have too much growing up in Australia spider related trauma.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Spot the Aussie when spiders are mentioned. Where? Pretty dress. Why so much pretty dress though? We're looking at heraldry. God damn it!
But pretty dress.
I felt so beautiful at the event. Ezra did my hair every day. He knows how to like elaborately braid. So every day I was just like, I'm a princess.
I just get my hair dyed pretty colors.
I tried that, but like, I was going for rose gold, and it just made my hair look kind of like maroon.
You have to bleach it first if you want that rose gold.
Yeah,
Which is
I
gonna
did.
fry your hair.
I did. That's where my highlights there, that kind of, they're lighter. I bleached them first, and they still just they didn't really come out with rose gold.
Yeah, my hair's mostly grey, so you know.
Nearly as fast as the Floridian and the alligator. I don't know, man.
Like, we just have situational awareness because we understand things are trying to kill us.
I feel like you can spot not the Floridian if you say alligator. Like the Floridians are the ones that aren't gonna panic.
Yeah, they're gonna
like,
go, oh, another one.
Yeah, like if you don't live,
That is the
very.
most relaxed dog ever.
You should cuddle with him. He's the kind of dog that will literally drape himself over you. Um, there's so many alligators in Florida that it's not a surprise. Like, and you have to be from like South Florida because if you're in Diet, Georgia, North Florida, like you're not in the Everglades, like you don't really see alligators as much. I live 5 minutes from,
Color.
yeah, I wanna have just like epic, ooh, the long
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate wig. I want to have just epic fae costume.
I mean,
Because
you
like
already have a pretty epic thing.
we were talking about it earlier, where Conquest is really interesting, where there's no rules.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very much a you only are what you can convince other people you are.
Mm-hmm.
So Bale tells a story about this one guy who came to the game and was basically telling everyone that he was a king, and everyone's like, "Yeah, okay, crazy person." And then he came next year and brought a whole entourage of people that are like, "Praise our king," and everyone's like, "Man, I guess he's a king." But even like that, you can establish story like that, and sometimes power. Like if you get people to react to your power when you're doing it, it's all about establishing that kind of stuff. But the way that people generally, that's Kit spying on us. By the way, he's looking at his dog. um, he has no security camera, just specifically to watch Serby.
That's fair.
Yeah. Makes a loud clicking noise. What was I talking about? I was talking about. Oh yeah, for when it comes to like being a fae or archfey at Conquest, we've taken a lot of time to think about like how do we show magic, how do we show power, how do we convince people we're not human, which is where we start coming in with like the special makeup and the eyes and stuff, because it's all that effort that people see, and it's the effort that they react to, where they're like, oh, I see, you put effort into playing this character, I'm gonna give you that space of treating you like an archfey. And then we have people who tell us, who like spread that we are archfey. There's this character called the Dragonfly Queen, where costumes take hours to get into. She has like wings and her whole face is painted blue, and she has like fake eyes all down her cheek and stuff. Big headdress, and it's become like a well-known thing that if you get within like a couple meters of her, you become enthralled. So she walks down the street with like her entourage, and everyone's like, "It's the Dragonfly Queen! Look out!" And like, there's a bubble of space that no one dare like step into, because that's kind of we were talking about like social contract of like this. There's a social contract at Conquest is really cool where you you like it's expected that you play with other people, so you respect kind of the world that everyone's building around you at the same time as they respect the world that you build, but only if you can like
It goes both ways.
it goes both ways. Like if someone comes up to you and they're like, I light you on fire, and you're like, do you? You can't just say you do a thing.
Yes.
Where's your like ribbons and stuff that's like where's your fire? It's a really cool. There's a sign that people put up outside of our camp over and over again that just said "Caution, slow zone," and it's basically what was happening. I think what they were taking advantage, because I think some players were doing it, but Magic's a little bit chaotic, so they would set up like caution slow zone, and everyone would walk really slowly, like, slow down as soon as you hit it, and like if you don't, like it becomes that social contract.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Cerberus. He wants pets from both people. He's like, why are you paying attention to anyone but me? Anyone but me.
Yeah. And like no one's gonna want to interact with you if you don't interact with them.
Yeah, it's very much it's the whole thing of Conquest is like you get as much as you give.
Yeah.
Yeah, doggy pets. Get one of those wands that shoots fire. It's like, I light you on fire. And it's like, oh yeah, do you? Um, yeah. The more I hear about Conquest, the more I get excited to experience. Yes, it's one of those experiences that's so good that I almost enjoy watching other people experiencing it for the first time more than I enjoy experiencing it because I remember how good that first experience was. And I'm just like, yes, be drawn in. Yes. Um, but anyway, we want to make fun how to do magic stuff. Like, I want like a staff or something that almost like a camera flash out the front of it.
Yep.
That has like a automatic. I press a button, it does that, and then like like a half second later, it has like thunder sounds, and that's basically me doing like lightning magic stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or like ribbons and stuff that symbolize fire.
Stuff to sell it.
Yeah, it's all how much you sell it. That's very much a good way. That's a good way to say it for Conquest. Is like there's nothing is real at Conquest unless you sell it.
And you also have to work your way up to it because nobody is going to buy the $1 million version right away.
Yeah, that's another thing is like we didn't come in the first time being like, I am an all powerful fae.
Bye-bye, dragon.
Bye, dragon. Is he leaving? Oh yeah, he said see you later. We didn't come in the first time being like, I am an all powerful fae. I mean, it helped. It's in character as well to just kind of like you don't know what other people are capable of, so you kind of diplomatize your way around, and also you don't let other people know what you're capable of.
Secrets are worth money.
Yes. So you build power through more reputation. Like the Dragonfly Queen has like a reputation, so she can just walk around and people treat her like she's powerful. And if people don't know who the Dragonfly Queen is, they learn very quickly. Oh, this is cool. We were talking about banners and stuff.
We were talking about banners, and then we got distracted by fae.
We got distracted by a lot of things.
And pretty dresses.
But I feel
servers.
like... Oh, that's not... It's, banners. Well, let's see what stuff that it thinks matches. Magic people. Ooh, achievements. Rainbows. Maps.
I mean, it is a little bit like a computer game that way. It's like you get achievements for doing things. You work hard at things, you get a shiny thing.
Medals are just real life achievements.
I want to do a full unlock.
Ooh, I like that. Magic schools. I'm gonna save that not because it matches, but because I want to look at it later.
More achievements.
It was like branches of magic, schools of magic. Like, I want to make stuff like that, where we can just pin it to someone. But doink! Save stuff like that. Make a big, epic banner. I like the idea of doing the silk banner, because I feel like that's also something that's not very difficult to do, or even that time-consuming. Nope. You just need the silk.
You need the silk, you need some wood, and you need some way to attach it to the wood. And tacks work perfectly well for that.
Yeah, and then you just cut out your shape afterwards. That feels like a really easy way to do it. I like this. They dried it over some pen, so it's like a little fake wave.
I drank too much coffee, so I'm going to be right back.
See? She peed before me.
It was me.
You all doubted me. I like these too. It's kind of like a combination. They have their colors and they have their heraldry. Blazons. Oh, I like these shapes. Look at all the wonderful little shapes. I always like the ones that kind of end in 3. There's so many fun shapes. So much heraldry to pick from. Oh, I like that. I like those kinds of like big military banners, like the different units having the more flag-like one, and then those ones. I forgot I'm wearing 2 hats. And then those ones being kind of like the main, like where the general is. Like they can be so different too. Yes, yes, yes. Collect the different forms of flag and banner. Yes. You should. Steal an apple slice. I'm just looking at.
Hi, puppy. You knew I washed my hands, so you came back to make them puppy dog again.
Yes. Zerby. He's such a good boy.
He is.
Ooh, I like
He's a
that.
best boy.
Like that's the kind of flag I would want for kind of our main Dendronian one, where it's like super gilded and obviously very like lavish.
Yeah.
And like a flag that oh, you know what'd be really cool is you ever played the Banner Saga?
No.
It's like a strategy game, but it's very story based. I think it might only be I forget if they ever made a computer version, but it might only be on like the iPad. You have to look it up. Actually, let's look it up now. But the Banner Saga is really cool. Banner Saga. Yeah, okay, they have it on different ones. They have it on Steam. So the Banner Saga is really cool because it focuses on like the leader of different like the leader of different human, even like villages or whatever. They get given the banner of that like village. And that's basically their history. Where the entire banner, they slowly extend it more and more and more and more. And it's their history woven into the banner as it goes.
That works really well for the whole
Yeah, the
theme
whole
of the
story
camp.
thing. It'd be cool, maybe not as like our heraldry banner, but
Yeah.
just to have that and like every year in between. It can be like a silk banner that we paint even. We design like you know those stained glass storytellings of the 12
Yeah.
in every church, where it's almost like that, where we pick some big events that have happened through the year, and we come back to the next game having added on to our banner. We can even like loop it around the whole like communal tent. You can follow it and learn the entire
Just
story
keep
of
growing.
Dendronia. If you've never played the Banner Saga, I heavily recommend.
Yeah, the Stations of the Cross. That's what it's
Stations
called.
of the Cross.
I was
Yes.
raised Catholic. I got better.
I was raised Catholic too.
There's 3 of them apparently.
Yeah. I didn't really finish the third one. But I finished the first 2. They're real good. If you like strategy games,
I do.
they're real good.
I get lost in strategy games.
It also has a really good story. And it's one of those games that your choices matter. Like characters will live or die, and like the whole things will change based on what you do.
Ooh, consequences. Consequences. Yeah, I never look at how many hours I have on Civilization in Steam.
Man, if anyone ever plays something like Civ with me, I am a very benevolent, non-war person. Is that 3,846?
Yes.
I'm a very benevolent, non-war person until you mess with me, and then one of us is dying.
Yes, that's exactly how you play it. Like, you're super nice until you're not.
Yeah, like I don't care if I die fighting you. I'm not surrendering. One of us is dying. I don't accept surrender. I don't surrender. I was peaceful. You chose this.
It's like the Gandhi bug in Civ.
Or like as soon as you research diplomacy, it breaks the math of the game, so he resets into the most violent he can be.
Exactly, because it looped around. He became your diplomatic favor became so high with him that he hated you.
Yeah, his diplomacy score was so high. He was so peaceful that his brain broke and he became like just
He just nuked everybody.
Yeah, because like you only research diplomacy once you've reached like around the industrial area.
Yeah.
So you would just wake up to Gandhi nukes.
Yes.
Like the
It's like
turn would start. You would
everything
see
was fine.
Gandhi has researched diplomacy. You'd shit your pants, and then you'd see the nukes, and you're like, "Why do you have nukes, Gandhi?" He knows. I like this. I wouldn't mind
That's awesome.
something like that. That's a little bit more like drawn out.
Yeah.
It's not overly detailed. It's just really nice.
No, it's not overly detailed until you try embroidering it, and then
Well,
it's overly
you have an embroidery version that doesn't have all the shading and stuff.
Yeah, but I'm stubborn and I try to do it as is.
I'll be honest. I don't like the embroidery, or not embroidery. I don't like the heraldry art style. It looks
it's terrible.
It looks real dumb.
It looks terrible.
Maddie is one thing, and that is concentrated spite and or petty. Yes. I'm very nice.
Until you
I put a lot of effort into being very kind and putting a lot of effort into
Mhm.
into people, to the point that when they then spit on my kindness, it's knowledgeable effort. I know how much effort I put into them.
Mhm.
They've given up the right to have anything other than spite.
Yes.
I'm a 200% or 5% kind of person.
That's fair.
You'll know when you have crossed that line.
Yes. And that's how the Fallout series really started.
That's how the Fallout series starts. Yeah, someone crossed that line.
Yes, Maddie is perfect.
The next epic saga in 2 hours. Epic from the musical that's being developed. Yeah, I heard that it's coming out, the Wisdom Saga. Hey, look. Speaking of owl.
I love owls.
Yeah.
Like there's a non-zero chance that I will have an owl somewhere in my
heraldry.
Yeah,
you should. I'll collect all of
I have one tattooed on my back that's about this big.
I'll collect all of the bird people. What's your favorite type of owl?
Snowy owls.
Snowy owls?
Yeah.
I like barn owls.
Barn owls are awesome too.
Yeah. And I also like burrowing owls because we have them in Florida and they're so derpy.
They are very derpy.
I love how derpy burrowing owls are. Man, I want something like this too. Like a really overly done heraldry. Not like the heraldry itself, but just the everything behind it. Okay.
Yes.
Like something like that.
It's got all the things on it.
Yeah.
All the augmentations of arms.
I want all of it.
Yes.
See, the problem is this is pretty. Oh, peacock. I
love the ears on the horned owls.
Yeah, I'm a huge world building nerd.
Oh yeah.
So my main hobby is world building. And everything that I've done in my life feeds back into world building. Like I've studied psychology, sociology, and anthropology because I like world building. I like understanding why things happen and like then taking all of the rules of the world and making my own.
Mm-hmm. I like the bit of world building where I look at like how I've drawn my map and the sort of like layout of it and like what's that going to do to the weather? Like there's going to be
Oh my god, we should do that. Did you at all see the part of the Patreon where I was showing me developing the
Yes.
potential LARP world?
Yes.
Where I laid out the land masses and then I did a shit ton of research. I was like, cool, what would the ocean currents be? What would the different climates be? What would the different, I had like all different, a bunch of layouts
It's like,
of the
we
different
get a
maps.
desert here because there's a rain shadow from this mountain range. We do
Yes. And then I went back and I did a bunch of research into the, like, based on my tectonic plates, which mountain ranges were old versus new. So what minerals would form at different levels in my mountain range.
That's what I've got my
Therefore,
dad for, because he's a fantasy
yeah,
nerd and a
yeah,
geologist. And I'm like,
yeah.
Dad, so where's the gold?
I had Chat GPT and Google, but and also people who are very helpful and make YouTube videos. But um, I've looked into Warhammer 40K. It's yet to catch my interest. It's a lot in like a very kind of convoluted way. I feel like it's one of those things that have gone on for so long that
if you ever
it's
want
like
to,
a comic book where everything's so convoluted.
If you ever want to fall down a 40K rabbit hole, I could give you a very, very summarized, succinct rundown in about 16 hours.
How long have you been wanting to make that joke? How many people have you told that joke to? It feels practiced.
I mean, there's a few. As a Warhammer nerd, yeah, there's been a few.
What do you mean potentially? I plan on going to the skill tree LARP for my first LARP. So, we're definitely still going to run a LARP. With how much effort we're putting into the Dendronian camp, that might become, and there's a few things in the pipelines for 2025, which should start becoming more public soon. But we still have all of the everything that, like, I have a whole document of rules that I gotta drag. Now that I know you're a world building nerd too, I start dragging you into that. Like, it's such a perfect mix of my love of why things happen and why people, like, patterns of behavior and such, and nature, and like how, like, things clicking together and organization. Because, like, it's one thing to world build, it's another thing to world build logically, where you have reasons
For
everything. And you don't just, like, spit out random answers. You're like, no, this civilization exists here because, and then that gives you, because it's all this long, never-ending chain where if you have reasons, it feeds into more detail later on. It's like, cool, then the history of this kingdom would be this because I know why they would have settled there.
And it feels alive and
Yeah.
realistic, even if it's complete fantasy.
Yeah, and then it's really, like, world building will take you into just every field.
Oh yeah, totally. You have to learn geology, you have to learn climate science, you have to learn sociology, you have to learn anthropology, you have to learn.
Yup. Yeah, you have to learn every single field of study that basically informs how people, animals, the world, physics, all of it work.
Yeah. And then you hand it over to players expecting it to go this way, and it all goes that way.
Which is
But
fine.
it still makes perfect sense.
If you
it's just not what
understand
you
the
expected.
world, then they can go anywhere.
Exactly.
Like, I had, just an example, like, I had a nation that was young, and was the first democracy. And because of that, it had to ally itself to everyone near it very quickly because everyone else wasn't a democracy. And if you're not familiar, democracy is a very threatening concept to non-democracies. When it first started appearing in, like, larger governments, it was like a thing that they would go to war. If democracy started to appear in your government, the other monarchies would, like, invade you.
This is a threat to our power base. Because what if our people start thinking that they should be able to help govern themselves?
Yeah, like, you can't put that into the people's minds. So then they would invade, not, and they would use their kind of basis of power. It's like, oh, like, the royal line of these people has lost power. It's gone to the savages. We have to restore order. Because royalty and all that was basically, it's a bloodline chosen by God.
Yes.
So that's
divine providence.
Yeah, it's before the internet and everything, where people, like, that was their truth. I really like if you watch The Crown, it's such a good show.
Yes.
It's so painfully human.
Yeah.
I've never watched a show before that really makes you just go like, wow, that is such a complex thing, but also just so human.
Yes.
Um,
And it's very easy to forget that the people in the monarchy are just people.
yeah, they're just people who now have this like bigger purpose thrust upon them.
Mm-hmm.
I like it goes into she was never expected to become queen.
Yeah.
She was just expected to basically become a wife and a
Mhm.
noble and stuff like that. So they never educated her.
Yeah.
She understood the Constitution. She was never taught math or basic like anything other than how to be a noble. And people kind of expect positions of power to be positions of luxury,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not.
Yeah.
Most of the times, positions of power, if they're genuine power and not just kind of like puppetry, they're positions of a lot of responsibility and expectation
pressure.
and
Yeah.
pressure. Um, it's just kind of like people on both sides of the line. Like what people not in positions of power typically want isn't power, it's like wealth.
Yeah.
They want the ability to do what they want and to be taken care of, but they don't want the responsibility of power.
No.
Like that's something entirely different. That's work.
Yeah.
Um,
They want freedom from responsibility and
yeah,
freedom
and
from pressure and
if you're
things like that.
outside that power, you don't like have to deal with it. Then all you see is the wealth that typically comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, like you get a lot of wealth, but it's not even a thing of this is just my love of world building and understanding why systems of powers work. Like, say in Conquest, we might have an entourage of people, like someone pour my drink for me, someone translate for me, someone take notes for me. And it's not because I genuinely think that I'm powerful or even that my character wants people to be serving her. It's because of the message it sends.
Mm-hmm.
It's a symbol of power to other people so that they respect your nation. If you don't give those animal monkey symbols of I am powerful, then your position of power isn't respected.
Yep.
So like if the monarchy wasn't rich, they wouldn't be as respected and their power wouldn't be as like recognized and followed.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even a thing of like it's a benefit. It's a necessity.
Yeah. You have to project that power or no one
Yeah.
respects the power.
Yeah, and that goes into a lot in the Crown where basically if you lose the respect that comes around power, like you lose the power.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole thing. It's really cool. I really love, if you've never listened to it, Matt Colville's video on power politics. Like he goes into a whole series of politics and it talks about power politics, which is kind of the concept of if an animal that was in a world with no predators met an animal in a world with predators, like there's the predator always wins.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because power politics always wins. Like if you play power politics, which is the rules of power, like take power, keep power, prevent others from gaining power.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the rules of power politics. There's no morality, there's no nothing. It's just power. Um, if you play the game of morality and like dignity and all that, you'll always lose. Like you have to play power politics or figure out how to collectively curtail the people playing power politics, or you'll always lose.
Yes.
Like that's just a law of nature.
Where you end up with the American political system.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, like right now, there's like certain political parties are playing the power politics, and the other political party is trying to be more like oral.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they keep losing, because one is not afraid to continuously take that step of the nuclear option to just gain more power and then prevent the other people from gaining power and keep power.
Yep.
And before, our government very much had things in place to curtail power politics. And that's why it worked until it didn't, because we outgrew that and we didn't put more protections in place.
We got more devious and we didn't.
We outgrew our our not very long document
Yes.
that we based our entire government on. We're going to politics, man. But we're not going to politics of like who's right and who's wrong though. Like we're just going into the law of nature that
is politics.
politics is built off of.
Yeah.
Which is the laws of power.
Mm-hmm.
Power always wins unless a collective whole curtails power. It's really cool when you apply it to that knowledge.
And the psychology of it is fascinating.
Yeah, it really is. Anyway, we are past 8, and we have to finish
filming
so that you can go home.
Like, no kid, I live here now. Sorry.
We can cuddle service together. He's a very good cuddler. He won't let you sleep, only pet.
That's fair. That's fair. If I was as cute as Cerberus, I would also demand constant pets.
Yeah. I mean, if I could demand constant pets, I love pets. I like I told you, I grew up with birds.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting my head pet is just like. Rand's like literally just joined. Lucky puppy, so many pets. I was like literally just joined. Well, I mean, you can always scroll back and pretend. Yeah, keep, I don't know, asking why. That's such a, like, I feel like,
it's a good rule for life.
too many people lose curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
I think they also get afraid to not know something or to stumble on something. Like, we were just talking about how almost everything in the world, you look into it, even the slightest bit, and it's a whole world in itself of knowledge and experience and stories and everything. And the people that keep asking why and keep seeking to grow are the people that really experience life.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why we made Skill Tree. Anyway, we're getting really sentimental.
Welcome to Philosophy 101 with Skill Tree.
Philosophy 101 with Skill Tree.
There's a new badge for you. Today we're leveling up this skill.
Today we're leveling up philosophy. I mean, I could talk about world building forever. It's literally my thing. More than spreadsheets. I know that's a lot. It's the only reason I love spreadsheets is because of world building.
They help you.
They help. They world building taught me a love of organization and flow of things working logically.
And mind maps.
Mind maps.
Love me a good mind map.
And then from every love I have spawns from the love of world building. Oh man, like I could start a whole YouTube channel where I just stare at the screen and spit nonsense about world building with no like references.
There you go. There's an idea for a stream for you. We'll have a piece of poster board and some markers, and it's like we'll design a world.
Oh, that would be actually really fun. Where you just give me like a whiteboard, and you pick a topic out of a bowl, and you're like, talk about this, and I'm like, okay.
And it's like, okay, how do we set up an economy in a world?
Well, what time era in human development we talking?
Let's go medieval, so before industrialization.
Okay, so like we're into representative economies, but not necessarily. Well, we still have a little bit of barter economy.
Yeah.
But we're not yet to like digital economy. Basically, money still means something. Typically, we have like a gold standard. I have a chair now. Maddie gets her. If I get my own channel, I get my own chair. Or maybe just make my new chair super popular and successful, and I can get my own chair.
Oh, we'll just do a project and build you a new chair.
Yeah.
We'll build you a throne.
Oh, build me a throne. I want to do some woodworking, but that's something that like I've never used power tools. So
it's fine.
So like, first of all, I don't want to break kids' power tools.
I'll bring mine. You can break those. I don't care.
And I need someone to show me how to do the power tools. If someone shows me how to do that, and like basic understanding. Kid's been a carpenter, so like basic understanding of woodwork. I'd love to make some like more carpentry stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my world building rant. It's very easy to activate rants about world building and psychology from me because I have way too much knowledge in my brain. And all it takes is like it's like when the water's bubbled up over the top of a cup, and then
Yeah.
you poke it and you break the surface
Surface
tension.
tension.
It just like
How'd it come?
that's my brain. That's what happens when you spend your life researching things and not talking to people. You're full of information you're dying to share. Anyway, we should probably end the stream. So you could go home.
Yes.
All right. It was lovely. It was lovely looking into heraldry and stuff. I know this wasn't as designy as normal, because my iPad is dead and I poorly planned this. So I didn't. Normally, I can draw on my iPad, and that's typically how I design things. But like most of my design process is just collecting information. I'll carry over the request, Froggy, to next stream as well. So you feel free to do a whole different one, because by then I'm sure we'll have a better idea of what we want running heraldry and stuff to be anyway. I like that one, that bear. That's actually on my screen. I was watching. You were watching the stream. I'm gonna save that. All right. Have a wonderful night. I'm gonna end this stream. I'm really bad at goodbyes, so I'm just gonna say bye.